Alright, so like I said, they do have hats, they have lanyards, they have a bunch of other little things as well. So if you do pick up one of these exhausts, look at this hat. To me, it's pretty nice. So right now what we're gonna pretty much do is get you a cold start. After that, we'll probably get some flybys, we'll get some 0 to 60s, we'll get you a bunch of sound clips. Between every sound clip, I'll tell you what I'm gonna be doing. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and get you a cold start first, and then after that, I'll go ahead and explain to you each step what we're gonna be doing. What's up, you guys? Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are gonna be doing one of the biggest installs on this truck, on my 2018 Toyota Tacoma. What we're going to be doing is pretty much installing a 3-inch CATBACK exhaust by Mbrp. We're going to go ahead and show you exactly what tools you need. We're going to show you exactly what steps you should do on installing this exhaust. And we're going to show you how easy it really is to install at home. Another thing, we are also going to be showing you clips of before and after at the end of the video. So please stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get to it. What we're going to be doing right now is pretty much unboxing exactly what exhaust we got. And we did pick up an exhaust tip, which of course does come separately. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that looks. And let's go ahead and get into it. We did get the 3-inch Mbrp exhaust. And if you want to purchase this exact model, once we show it to you, I will make sure to link it down below. Alright, so inside the box, this is the exhaust that we got. Like I said, we did get a tip, which I'll show you how that looks right now. It makes it for a lot cleaner install. So there's the 3-inch piping. I like this, that it has the logo. And there's the rest of it. It is in 3 pieces, and we will show you how to install it. Another thing that comes included in the box is all the hardware and instructions as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how the stock one looks, and you could tell it's a lot skinnier compared to this one. So this is the exhaust tip that we did get. Like I said, it makes it for a cleaner install than just having the piping by itself. It has the famous Mbrp logo right here embroidered in, and I'll go ahead and show you the stock one. So that's pretty much the stock one, really skinny. As far as for this one, it's a 3.5-inch pipe. So like I said, it's gonna look a lot better. And one thing to note, they also have a black edition one, so pretty much the piping is all black if you want to go for that look. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you what tools you need now, and then we'll get into the install. Just keep in mind, if you do have a short bed like I do, the installation is a little bit different than if you have a long bed. So I'm just letting you know that right now off the bat. Alright, so just a side-by-side comparison. This is the Mbrp, and this is the stock Toyota one. Look at the difference in sizing, if you can capture that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so as far as tools, the easiest tool you're going to need, if only you get the exhaust tip, it's going to be an Allen key, and it's going to be a size 8. So like I said, that's only if you purchase the exhaust tip separately, of course. The next thing you are for sure going to need is a socket, a 14mm socket. And you're also going to need some WD-40 just in case the bolts are a little tight and the hangers are tight, squished in there. If you have a short bed, you want to go ahead and make sure you have a tape measure. That's seriously going to come in handy. Another thing that could come in handy is some pliers. You'll see why if it ends up happening to us. And another thing you're going to need if you're doing this installation on a short bed is pretty much a Sawzall. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll show you how it's done. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into the install now. He's going to show you exactly what to do.
Alright, so first things first is, gotta get underneath. Get all dirty.
This is probably the funnest part. If you guys like dealing with things like this, get down and dirty.
Alright, so first things first, you just kind of want to map out what you're doing, what you're taking off and whatnot. The new pipe's going to go from here, that way. So we know we got to undo these bolts, we got to take these hangers off of this exhaust, and everything back that way. From here forward, we're not going to worry about because we're doing nothing with. So from here, we need that's where the 14mm comes in, and both the nut and the bolt are both 14mm. And then as well as Jesse said, you got some pliers in case these bushings are stuck, which we might need because I can't get it off by hand. So we're gonna grab some tools and start taking it apart.
One thing to note also, make sure your car is cool and the ground is cool. You don't want to be burning yourself and stuff like that. So just make sure it's a cool day, you know, do it in your garage or something. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it.
All right, so noticing these bolts, the nuts are actually welded on, so we don't have to worry about those, which is good. So like I said, the 14 millimeters here. Since it's a new truck, we don't need WD-40 or anything on these bolts. It should come right off. But for these rubber exhaust hangers, we are going to put WD-40 on them because it will make it way easier to get them on and off. And there's 4 of them, 1 here, 2 on the back of the muffler, and then way back on the exhaust there's another one. So we're just going to spray a little bit on there. It doesn't need to be all crazy. We'll do that with all 4. And then after that, we'll take these bolts out, take these hangers off, and then the exhaust will fall right out.
Alright, so from the back side, we're going to go ahead and show you where those...
There's a hitch there.
From the back side, we're going to go ahead and show you.
A little bit there, up there. And then we already did the back of the muffler, so we're good on that. So we're going to do the front bolts, and then we're going to drop the muffler right out.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you one more time. So that hanger there, we just put some WD-40, and then... Alright, so coming around this way, I'm going to go ahead and show you where the back hanger is. So that's that one right there. You want to go ahead and put some WD-40 on that right there. And then the one we first did is right there. So the next step should be pretty easy.
Alright, so here's the, like I said, we're next step after soaking the hangers, we're just gonna take these off. And they aren't easy because it's brand new. And again, it is a 14 millimeter. You don't need a big as wrench as I do unless your truck is older. It'll probably be a little bit harder to get off. And then, like I said, the nuts are welded on, so you don't have to worry about that turning.
So the ones we are taking off right now, just so you get a little picture, so pay attention. The bolts are here. That's the front of the truck. So when you're under here, you're going to see 2 pipes coming in. 2 pipes coming in, you see that? It goes into one. So these are the bolts we are removing right now. So just so you get a better picture of what we're doing. Alright, so now that the 2 bolts are removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the hanger that's closest to it, which is right there. Alright, so that's why we're using the pliers. Pretty much what he's doing, if you can tell, I'll go ahead and zoom in really quick. So if you can see, there's the little metal that's hanging out. Alright, so now it's out. So pretty much just use some pliers and WD-40 and that should do the trick if they're in there tight. Alright, so up next we're going to go ahead and start moving to the back. So let me go ahead and get a better view for you guys. Alright, so we're now moving to the back and we're going to go ahead and start from here. Let me go ahead and show you. Alright, so you want to do the same process pretty much. You want to use WD-40 and maybe some pliers if it's really hard. And it should pop off. Just like that, yeah. So we just removed the hanger that was here. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the hanger that's right about there. If you can see his hand. We'll go ahaid and zoom in. Alright, there it is. Alright, go ahead. Once again, same step. WD-40 and the pliers. Alright, so after removing that one, there is one on the opposite side as well. I'll go ahead and try to zoom in for you guys. Alright, so the one we just took off was on this side. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this other side right there where he's pointing. And that's the next little hanger you want to go ahead and remove. Like we said, WD-40 and the pliers. Exhaust might hit the floor, so if you do have a buddy, always great. If you don't, it's all good. Yeah, watch your face. Nice. Alright, so it's pretty much removed now. All we gotta do is take it out of the truck, and he's gonna go ahead and show you how to do that.
Alright, now that it's all out and everything, if you're by yourself, it is gonna be a pain. It is possible. I just did it to test. If you got a buddy, obviously it'd help more. But anyways, when everything's out, it's gonna be hanging on the rear axle. What you're gonna do is you wanna lift up on the muffler in the front and kind of twist the whole thing. And you can just shove it through the front. And then just finagle with it, it'll come out. Maybe. Okay, now that we got it that far, we're gonna go to the front. And the only thing you gotta kind of watch for is the front exhaust that you're not taking out, because that's what it's hitting on. Other than that, it should slide out the rest of the way. Hopefully. Alright, so you pretty much, you're just gonna have to figure it out as you go. You kind of have to spin it and all this other stuff, and it's definitely easier with two people. I was able to do it by myself, but here it is. And if you're trying to save this muffler tip, you might want to wrap it or something. We got the Mbrp, so we're not really worried about it. But there she is.
So really quick, you guys, we're going to go ahead and lay them down, and then we're going to go ahead and lay down the Mbrp right next to it. That way you see the differences. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you really quick the differences. So pretty much, this is the Mbrp, like I was telling you. It's nice and polished, embroidered Mbrp. This is the stock Toyota one. It's a little bit smaller. What is the main differences is pretty much the exhaust piping. It's a lot better high quality. It's a 3-inch compared to the stock one that it looks to be like a 2-inch, 2.5. Yeah, another big difference is pretty much the muffler. You could tell differences. So this is the Mbrp, and that's pretty much the stock one. You could tell the big size difference. That's ugly, that's not. Another thing, like I was saying, if you have a long bed, of course the installation is just a bolt-on. As for me, I have a short bed, so this is the piece that we're pretty much going to be cutting. So we're going to cut from this side. I'll go ahead and show you exactly how, and the instructions I'll show you how, so you shouldn't have a problem. It's pretty easy installation, and it's not too hard. It shouldn't take too much time. So side by side, like I said, check out that muffler size. Freaking humongous, nice and clean. Freaking humongous, nice and clean. Alright, so pretty much we're going to start by cutting, because like I said, we do have a short bed. So that's the stock muffler, and this side over here is the Mbrp. The side we're going to be cutting is pretty much, you want to go ahead and grab this pipe here, and you're going to measure out 13 1/4, and we'll show you which side to cut from.
So we do have to cut this because he's got the short bed. You're going to be cutting from this side that does not have the flange. The flange bolts to the cats in the front. This side goes to the muffler, so we just need to shorten this to connect to the muffler so that way it'll fit inside the truck. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. Just measure and cut. It's going to take 13 1/4 off. We're going to make a couple marks just so we can kind of follow it along the pipe. So 13 1/4 right here. And then same thing over here. And we're going to get as the straightest possible cut we can get. Next up, the fun part. So all we're going to do is just pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to cut this pipe.
Alright, so now that he cut half of it, pretty much what we're doing is flipping it over, remeasuring, just that way we have a clean slice all the way through. We don't want nothing crooked. You already know how we do our installs, nice and clean. That's probably the funnest part you're gonna have of this installation. That was awesome.
Alrighty then. Alright, so now that we got it cut, we got our 13 1/4 off. We're just gonna set it again next to this just to see how much of a difference of cut is. So again, we're gonna be putting it about there, so yeah, it's everything's pushed forward, so pretty much it's the same now. Next step is we're gonna just start bolting everything in. We're not going to put the tip on until last, so that way we don't scratch it all up.
Alright, and like I said, stay tuned because at the end of this video there's going to be a couple sound clips. And once again, if you do want to purchase the same exhaust system, all the links are in the description box below, including the exhaust tip that we picked up.
Alright, well, since it's a fairly new truck, we're going to reuse the same gasket. It just sits here on this front pipe. We didn't take it off, it's still there. If it's an older truck, you might want to replace it so that way you don't have any leaks, but that one's still good, so we're going to leave it there. So as for the instructions, we're going to put this pipe, just put it on here and just loosely bolt it on. So we're going to pretty much start from the front back. So after we do this one, we'll do the muffler, and then we'll do the rest of the exhaust, followed by the exhaust tip. But for now, we're just going to get it fairly close to being tight, but not all the way. That way it's still pretty loose to get everything in there.
The reason they say not to pretty much tighten everything down is because when you're putting all the piping back together, sometimes it won't fit if you start tightening stuff. So keep everything loose, just put the bolts on and that's it, but don't tighten them. That way you pretty much get your fitment flush and everything goes straight and nothing bends or cracks or anything like that.
Yeah, mainly because it's a multi-piece exhaust. It's not the original exhaust made directly for this truck. We had to modify ours. So now that that's on there, you can see how much play we have still. We're just going to leave it like that. I have it finger tight. I can't go anymore with my fingers. So next up, we're going to do the muffler, which is right here. And to make it look nice, we are going to have the Mbrp logo, which is on this side, hanging out. So if people look underneath, they can see it. So it should be like that then.
Alright, so the hangers that he is putting in right now, those are provided by Mbrp. It will come with your exhaust, so just noting that there. As you could tell, the placement of the hangers that they did provide is pretty much OEM, so that's one awesome thing to note. Also stay tuned because I am going to review this at the end of the video, just give you a little bit of thoughts that I have about this exhaust.
So now that we just got this clamp and with the hanger on it, just everything's sitting loose here. This hanger and everything's loose. We're going to put the muffler on there. It goes on the outside of the pipe. We are putting the Mbrp logo on the outside in case you look underneath, you can see it. So all we're going to do is just get it and slide it right on the exhaust. Again, everything's just loose. As you can tell, it's just hanging here until we get everything bolted in. So now that we have it set like this, we're going to do the back half of the exhaust next. And now that we got that part in, we're going to put this half in. Again, we're not putting the exhaust tip on yet because we don't want to scratch it or anything. So we're going to put this in first, and after we get everything bolted, then we'll put the exhaust tip on.
Pretty much what we're doing here is putting the rear exhaust piping from the front to the back. So we're just feeding it through, that's about it.
Alright, now that we got this pipe over the axle and everything, we have the clamp right here that goes over this exhaust. What we got to do is just finagle it in there. Just pretty much push on it, let the back end lift up, and then we can slide this right into it actually, like so. There it is. Now that is done, we are going to just connect the 3 hangers that are left before we bolt everything in. So now that that's in, we're going to lift it up and put these hangers on. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this hanger off of the bed hangers, and we're going to put it on the exhaust hangers. It'll be easier. Alright, so we're going to put it on here, slide it all the way back. If it's kind of tight, which is not too bad I guess, you can always use WD-40. Now it's on there, we're going to hang it up on the bed. Just like so. And now after we got this one on and we got the very front one on, we're going to do the 2 that are on the back side of the muffler. and then we should be good. All right, so now we just grab this one and slide it on. Then we're gonna grab this one. Same thing, slide it on. There you go. All the hangers are in. All that's left to do is tighten these two clamps and then tighten the front, and that's in. And then we'll put the tip on.
So one hanger there, and then if you could tell, there's one hanger there and one on exactly the opposite side. That's what he just explained to you guys. And now pretty much all we need to do is tighten up the hangers that were provided, which is this one, and then there's one right in front of it. So that should be the easy process. It's literally just a 14mm socket. You get your wrench and you tighten it up, and that's it.
Alright, so now that everything is bolted in, everything's hung up, and you still have these, they're still loose, and you like how everything's sitting, that's when you can go ahead and tighten all this up. Tighten these two bolts up.
Alright, so up next what we're going to do is pretty much install the exhaust tip. So like I said, this exhaust tip is pretty nice. It's the embroidered Mbrp logo on it. So what we've done is pretty much bolted the whole exhaust down. We put the hangers on, and yeah, should be easy. So for this step, you want to go ahead and get your Allen key. It's going to be a size 8, and I'll show you how it's done. It's pretty easy. Alright, so first things first is you want to just put it pretty much where you're going to like it. I kind of want it there because I do want it to show a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt it down from there, and we should be good. Go ahead and do it hand tight first. Alright, here we go. Alright, so you don't want to over tighten this as well. But it's good there, it ain't coming out. So now that we have everything installed, this is probably the moment of truth that you guys have been waiting for. Of course, how it sounds. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so before we get into the sound testing and all that, I just wanted to state one thing. I really like the high quality of this exhaust, the way it looks, how good the placement of the hangers were. I like that they provided all the hardware that you did need. Alright, so another thing I do like about this exhaust is, like, well, I probably stated that already, the high quality. And also, if you guys are on a budget like I was, this is probably the best exhaust that you can get for the money. It sounds really good. Honestly, this is probably one of the best sounding exhausts in the game for the Tacoma, and also many other vehicles. Check them out. Mustangs, Raptors, many other vehicles. Like I said, go check them out. The link is in the description box below. They also have hats, they have lanyards, they have many other things. So let's go ahead and get to the moment of truth. Let's turn this bad boy on and see what it's made of. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the cameraman stand outside, and then I'll go 0 to 60. That way you get an outside clip of how it sounds with this exhaust. It's really nice. It's probably one of the deepest ones I've heard for the Tacomas. So if you do want to pick it up, it's in the description box below. Alright, so now that you guys got the flybys, I'm going to go ahead and give you some revs. That way you guys hear how it sounds. Just keep in mind, over the microphone, it's not going to sound as good as it sounds in person. Like I said, this is probably one of the best exhausts you can pick up for the Tacoma, no joke. You can ask anybody else on forums or anything like that about this exhaust on a Tacoma if you don't believe me. But damn, it sounds really good and it's deep for what it is. You got to remember, this truck is a V6, but it makes it sound a little bit more like a V8, which I like. So let's go ahead and get you the rest of the sound clips. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and go 0 to 60 and from the inside of the cab. That way you get a sound, a clip with the windows up, how it sounds. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is pretty much give you a roll by, or however you want to call it, with the windows down. That way you guys listen how it sounds with the windows down. Alright, so that was your 0 to 60 with the windows down. Like I said, over the microphone you're not going to be able to hear it, how it sounds exactly. Just like I said, you gotta believe me, you gotta ask other people, go on forums, listen about this exhaust, go check them out, see their prices. It's probably one of the best budget type exhausts that you're gonna find for the Tacoma. I know I keep repeating it, but it's the truth. Alright, see you guys. Yeah. Alright, so if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to go ahead and pick up your Mbrp exhaust, like I said, everything will be in the description box below. I do highly recommend it. Like I said, it's probably one of the best sounding exhausts in the game. I mean, it's really affordable, super nice. Placement for the hangers and everything was the best. It's pretty much like an OEM exhaust, which it's not because it sounds a lot better. But all the placement for it was good. Yeah, I mean, stay tuned for more videos. And what'd you think about it?
I'm not gonna lie, that was actually fairly simple, fairly straightforward on how to replace it, and it sounds great compared to that old one. I think the fact of actually replacing it, I've done plenty of exhausts in my life, and that one was actually really easy. It's all just straight up, just put it in there and you're done. It's not hard at all.
Heck yeah.
Word.
Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Deuce. See you guys next time.
Maybe.
Bye. We quit. Alright, there's by Mbrp. He's recording.
How do I get all this metal out of here?
It's pausing.
Can I get any closer? Come on, $1,000.
Ah.
Other thing is, hi, I'm on a bumper, you can see me.